All right, here we go. Wednesday edition of Knicks Postgame Live, presented by Prizepicks. Knicks head down to the QC, Charlotte, North Carolina, for the second of a back-to-back. And after a disappointing loss at the hands of Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks last night, the Knicks kids bounced back in a major way, and it started with their intensity, their effort, and their energy, and it was led by one Obi Topic. It was led by RJ Broadway Barrett. And from there, everybody just followed suit, man. A complete team victory. Knicks never looked back from the opening tip. A wire-to-wire victory over the Charlotte Hornets, 121-106. And, hey, man, disappointing season, but I think I speak for a lot of us when we say tank or no tank. You were proud of the effort by this team tonight. Because they put it all out there, man. They wanted to get a bounce back win, and they got that in impressive fashion for most part of the game. We're going to talk about that right now. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Lock in. Knicks Postgame Live, presented by Prizepicks. CP the franchise here. Alex Rotaro, Stratocast. They're in the building. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Al, man. Again, the way last night's game ended, it was going to be tough, for these guys to get one on the road, back-to-back. No Julius again. No Mitch tonight, injured. So you had Sims and you had Obi getting the starts. And look, man, again, I thought these guys looked really, really good to set the tone early for this team. I thought to start with Obi, I thought he really played with a chip on his shoulder. Obviously, last night's game didn't go in his favor, picked up the 5 fouls early in the third, or either late in the third or early in the fourth. I don't remember. Basically, he wasn't playing in the fourth at all, so I'm sure he was disappointed. A lot of the fans were disappointed that he didn't get to close that game last night, and he started this game terrific, man. He was all over the court, blocked a shot at the rim, had a deflection, a couple of 3 balls went down his way, got out in transition, had a nice cut off the ball. Burks actually found him for the slam. I thought Obi set a great tone for the night, and the Knicks really rallied around his energy. Then you got RJ. Another 30-point night for RJ. 30 points, 3 boards, 3 dimes, 10 of 19 for RJ. Efficient night, 7 of 8 from the stripe. Back-to-back games with 30-plus points. 11 games of 30-plus this year for RJ. So, again, I thought he did a great job of leading the team out there when, we're severely shorthanded. I thought he's showing a lot of poise, a lot of maturity. I think he's running the offense well. I think he's being patient, especially on his drives, but still being aggressive. So I love what I saw from RJ out there. And then the bench. You had Quickly once again giving you solid minutes, 10 points, 7 dimes for Emmanuel Quickly. I don't think there's a more confident player on this team right now than IQ. I think he's just running the offense very well right now, running it with a lot of pace, pushing the pace, setting guys up, making a lot of nice passes out of the pick and roll. And then in the second half, in particular the fourth quarter, Teardrop was the floater was floating out there. Had a couple nice floaters to keep Charlotte at bay when they made their run. And Deuce, I got to give Deuce, man. Deuce shot the ball very well. Shout out to Chuck D in the chat. The drummer Deuce came through with a couple of big threes in this game. Deuce finished with 9 points. So, again, overall solid effort by the Knicks kids to get the dub in Charlotte.
Yeah, man. I really like this game. It was a good feel-good game after especially last night's loss to the Atlanta Hawks. I don't like losing to Trae Young, especially on our home court, especially because they're pushing that villain narrative. So it just left a sour taste after losing that game. But tonight, Knicks bounced back on the back-to-back on the second game of a back-to-back, which is pretty impressive. Things that I like from tonight was just the Knicks offense. When you watch this team, it looks like it's moving more freely. Everyone's passing the ball, sharing the rock. RJ's ability to get downhill with more spacing on the court. It's not clogged, right? Whether you have Jericho Sims down there or you have Taj Gibson in there, doesn't matter who's playing the five for tonight. RJ was just able to attack relentlessly like he was doing yesterday against the Atlanta Hawks. And you talked about Obi Toppin just getting off to this game and just giving that energy, which is needed. And I feel like this is where we talk about having high energy guys, when you have guys who come off your bench. Like this is what we saw from the second unit last season, right? Guys who get off the bench, create that hype, bring the tenacity, the energy just to get your first unit or just the entire team going. Because when you get emphatic slam dunks, when you have guys just playing with a high motor, it creates that energy for everyone else just to follow through. And even when you saw at the end of the game, guys were still getting hyped with Obi Toppin just high flying 2 dunks in a row. So I liked what I saw from Obi last night. He was just active, something that this is why he needs to get more playing time. The nominal 10 minutes is not enough because he causes defenses just to stay on their toes. He's running all over the place. Whether it's the ball in his hands after grabbing a rebound, whether it's him just being on the other in half court, just looking to cut. Like he's causing defenses just to stay off balance. And that's something we don't get with the first unit, especially when the team is fully healthy. A lot of guys are just standing around, no off ball movement, not really swinging the ball around. It's just too stagnant. It makes lives easy for opposing defenses just to stay in front of their man. So I like what Obi Toppin brought to this game. RJ, as we said, had like an efficient night. I like what I saw from him. You got to give a shout out to Evan Fournier. Kudos to him for breaking the Knicks 3-point record tonight. Surpassing John Starks with 3-pointers made. But I like the bench too, man. The bench was 11 for 21. Efficient bench. Yeah. Deuce McBride was the best. This is where we just want to see the young kids come in and play, man. Yeah. This is what we wanted to see from them all season long. To see what we got in here. I feel like it's a little too late because actually, no, it's not too late because I feel like even playing the games like against the Charlotte Hornets, when you have the Chicago Bulls coming up, those teams are still going to be in it trying to get proper seeding. So if you give these guys a chance to go out there and compete, and it looks like these guys are still competing for Tom Thibodeau, just competing because they're just competitors. You see that there's just a hungry nature in them and wanting to prove what they can and can't do on the court. This is going to be a good time just to see what they're going to offer for this team moving forward. So it's a good evaluation game. I like what I saw from this team overall.
Yeah, absolutely, man. 18, 11, and 6 for Obi. 8 of 11 from the stripe, 2 of 4 from downtown. And as soon as he starts going off, Al, the Twitter notifications they coming for me early.
He's not a dud, right? He ain't a dud, right?
They're coming for me early. Oh, I thought he was a dud. What happened, CP? What happened? Well, here's this thing. There's this thing called minutes. He played 40 minutes tonight. When number 30 is in, he gets 1/8 of that. 5 to 10, 8 to 10. There's a big difference. So, yeah, he had a good game. But when Julius is on the team, he doesn't play. That's just the obvious.
And whose fault is that, though, for not letting a guy with high energy? And we see tonight against a Charlotte Hornets team that's still in this race, by the way. Okay, They're 37 and 36. They're looking for seeding. What does that say about not giving Obi Toppin enough minutes throughout the season, though?
Bro, that's on the coach. What more can you say? That is on the coach. But people are acting like this is just some revelation that Obi's playing. He played 40 minutes tonight. Does he get that on a regular basis? Will he get that on a regular basis?
Julius wasn't here, but what we need out of him is what we need Thibodeau to do is just give Randall more of a time on the bench just to like get some rest and give him an opportunity to run, because we see tonight 8 for 11 as he talked, 2 for 4 from 3. Like he's gaining confidence. He's allowing him to work through his mistakes. 40 minutes. That's a lot. You can build a lot of confidence off of 40 minutes.
Listen, if the coach doesn't play the kid, it is a botched pick. There's no other way around it. If you're not going to see this type of production, if the coach doesn't play him, you could have all the potential you want sitting on the bench. If he doesn't play him, you're not getting enough value out of the pick. That's the whole point. That's the whole point.
Botch is different than being a dud, though. Let's make that clear, though.
What do you mean? What is it?
What do I mean?
What is a dud? How do you define a dud?
A dud means he's not productive whatsoever, meaning he is not a good player.
But how is he productive in 10 minutes a night?
Well, whose fault is it for not playing him more minutes?
But that's a separate argument.
You can't call him a dud.
That's a separate argument.
You can't call this man a dud. Oh, man.
That is a
You cannot
separate
call
argument.
this man a dud. Oh, my God.
Bro.
You cannot call this kid a dud because he can clearly play, all right?
Bro, that's not the point.
He just needs to get more minutes.
That is what you and these people are not getting. That is not the point. It's not about whether he can play or not. He can't play on this team with Julius Randle because the coach will not allow it. That's my point. So either the coach has to adjust or the front office has to figure out what direction they're going to go in with this kid.
That's fair, but that doesn't mean that Obi is a dud as a player.
But that's how people interpreted it. I said the pick is a dud if you got the kid buried on the bench and playing 10 minutes a night and he can't even close. He didn't even close the game last night against the Hawks. That's the coach.
Yeah, that's a...
You know, people are reading into it like a no, that is on the coach. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
come
saying,
off that way. Just letting you know.
Well, listen.
Just letting you know.
People read and interpret things the way they want, and that's fine. You know, there's no backtracking. I'm not going to take that back. As long as the coach is not going to play him with Julius here, the pick is a dud. If they're going to trade Julius, fine. Absolutely fine. Or you get a coach that's going to play small and play with the two of them on the court. That was one of the questions that we had for Obi when last season finished, when this season started as a season preview. Will he play the two of them significant minutes together? And the answer again this year is no. So
I mean, I said you could go back. I said that was not going to happen at the beginning of the season. I knew that was not going to happen because I know this coach.
So you know, again, people want to say, "Oh, well, you're going at the kid." No, it's not against the kid. But if you're going to have a guy here with Julius there and the coach is not playing him, then he's a redundant piece. But anyway.
I get that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the wording and phrasing. When
Hey,
you hear,
listen, man, reading is fundamental, man. I can't teach everybody. Everybody interprets things a different way. You say potato, I say potato. There's tomatoes going on in the chat. I say tomato.
Oh, brother.
If he doesn't play, it's a messed up pick. Simple and plain. And I'll say it 1,000 times over and never regret it a single time. If he doesn't play, you're not getting value out of that pick.
There's no disagreement with that.
Yeah.
None.
Anyway, let's go to the stats, man. Go ahead.
Glad we got that out early.
Yeah, glad we got that out early. Because everyone's, oh, you running from the... Please, never run from the smoke, all right? Never run from the pea shooters and the tomatoes coming off in the chat. That's light work. Absolute light work. Anyway, couple of notable stats tonight, man. Threes, shot 44% from three, 20-45 from downtown. Congratulations to Evan Fournier for passing John Starks for number one all time, man. Number one all time, 218 plus threes made in a season. What do you think about that, man? Given the season that we've had, Fournier, having his typical Fournier season, but here he is, 40% from three on 7 attempts and single season record for threes, man. What do you think about that?
I mean, one, like I said, congrats to Evan Fournier. It's not an easy accomplishment to do, to be a 40% shooter like that. But my issue with Evan Fournier has been the same thing throughout this entire season. It's inconsistent. He's a flamethrower or he's ice cold. There's no in between, which even tonight, what do you have for tonight? He went 4 for 10. I mean, that's 40% right there, but is that really what you want? Going 4 for 14 overall from the field? Because that's the other part that you got to look at.
Yeah.
It's nice that he went 4 from 10 from three. That's good shooting. That's 40%, but he goes 4 for 14 from the field. Had some good buckets throughout the game, had some key buckets, but you have to be more of an impactful player right there. This is where, for him, I think his best role, like I think if you're a really good team, if you have him as like your 6th, 7th guy coming off the bench, that's legitimate. Like he's a legitimate piece right there. But I'm not too high on it and I'm not too low on it because this season's just been topsy-turvy. It's, we had expectations of this team going to the playoffs again. That's not going to happen. You expected this team to be more competitive. It's not even that at all. We're blowing 4th quarter leads. Back to third quarter's a doom, even though it's not tonight. That's what we've seen throughout this entire season. And then when you look at him as the player, he's just too inconsistent, like I said, to even be so high on this as him surpassing this record. But hey, like I said, it's hard work to get to that point. So congratulations to him, but I don't make too much out of it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, he's had some high moments this season. He's had some where I think we've needed a bit more out of him, but that's a Fournier season for you. That's certainly a Fournier season for you. I still like him on this team. I like him in a bench role looking forward. Now, you and JD didn't want him on the team, but that's another story.
Still don't.
See, you're ready to trade him for 2 second-round picks, but that's a whole nother story. I think, his shot, his shooting capability, I think it's something that you want to keep on this team. He's shown a little bit better playmaking lately. And, obviously he came up in a couple of big games, whether it's the Celtics, the Nets, came up big in a couple of those. But, that's your Fournier season. So good job by him. How about this? After last night's free throw debacle, 15 of 17 from the stripe, 88% as a team. So that was a good job by them. And then 30 dimes, man. 19 assists in the first half. And again, finished with 30 on the night. So great job by them moving the ball. And then, they hold a Charlotte team that averages, I think, about 115 points a game to 106. So, I thought the defense showed up when they needed to and got the stops that they needed to seal off and get the dub.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see them. Like I said, this team's been passing the rock pretty well between the last 2 nights. And it's because, look, let's just keep it real. Julius Randle, when he's in that starting lineup, he holds onto the ball way too long. He misses reads, forces some shots. We get a lot of ISO Randle, and that's not winning basketball. But when you watch last night, even though they didn't win, the fact that you're able to keep the rock moving, find guys who are open, get easy looks, not have to work twice as hard just to get a shot, that's the type of stuff that you get that gets you winning basketball. So it's good to see them get, like tonight, they got 30 assists as well. Hitting the free throws, that's very big. Something's turned around for that. I don't know what it is, but these are the aspects of winning that we need from this team. I think for moving this team forward, though, right? There needs to be something else to alleviate, this team to get even easier passes, because I feel like even though they got 30 assists, there's still assists that they're missing. Just because there's either 4 shots, whether it's like RJ putting some blinders on sometimes and just take it to the rack, whether it's just missing key guys for rotations and just simply just not cutting off ball just to get to the basket and create even easier open looks or setting off ball screens and just getting catching the defense sleeping. So there's more ways to get a higher assists total on a team, but it's good for what this team is, because all we see is drive, kick out, keep swinging the ball, then someone else drives, kick out, swing the ball, and it's just this whole repetitive motion of looking for somebody that's open, whether it's someone going to be driving in and finding either a floater or a layup, or finding someone on the perimeter and just taking a 3-pointer, or maybe if we're lucky enough to see an elbow jumper like from Alec Burks, which he was doing a lot of last night, hitting the elbow jumper and hit some shots tonight as well.
Oh, you thought Burks had a good game?
He had he had 17 points tonight. He had a solid game tonight.
I'm just checking. I'm just asking the questions, man. I'm just asking the questions, man. Just asking.
What, you put me on the spotlight just to see?
I'm just asking. Did you see the reverse layup in the 4th quarter? Did you see the reverse?
I did see the reverse.
Okay.
But it looks like for him, because even though he's playing point guard, you're letting the offense run through RJ.
Yeah. And
it's still a lot smoother than having Alec Burks be the traditional point guard and bring the ball up, try to initiate for everybody. So RJ just makes the offense look a lot smoother.
Yeah. No doubt about it, man. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. We are less than 300 subscribers away from 50,000 subscribers, man. So make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, share these videos with a fellow Knicks fan. We got 1,300 people in the chat. Let's get those likes up to 1,000 for our Knicks victory. Knicks get a dub, man. As I said, whether you with the tank or not, look, this was a win that you can be proud of, because these guys really put it out there from beginning to end. And on a back-to-back, traveled on a back-to-back and got the job done. So let's get to the phones, hear what the people got to say. Let's start with Drew. Drew, you up. Go ahead and I'll mute your mic.
Hey, what's going on, CP and
what's
in the crew?
How you feeling?
For starters, I know I've said in the past about my reasons for Obi as to why, I just think he's a better fit for this team. I think we clearly saw that tonight, but let's not get things twisted. For this portion, I mean, he's not going to put up another game like this, I don't think. I mean, the dude did play 40 minutes, but I mean, you see the changes that he puts on the court. I mean, RJ just has way more spacing to attack. And everything just opens up. And, just overall, I mean, the offense just completely changes when he's on the floor. So the thing that we have to look at going forward is whether we move on from Julius. Leon probably got the deal. I've been full on that Obi train ever since he played during the COVID days. So I've been just saying we need to start Obi going forward. So, I mean, we'll just have to see what goes on going forward. But yeah, this team played overall really well, and I'm just going to end it off there. So peace out, guys.
All right. The ever the repeat argument that we have every time the kid has a good game. Okay. My take is we'll see. We
if
shall
Randall
see.
gets moved, you mean?
I was told he was getting moved. They drafted Obi. I said great pick. Never got moved. Kid doesn't play. But okay. We'll see what happens next year. That's all.
I feel like next season is going to be the determining factor. I mean, you got Obi on his second to last year of his rookie contract, so you're either moving him and that's a pivotal year for Obi Toppin too, because you would think the front office wants to see what he can do if you do want to keep him around for the fourth year, because fourth year, you're selling him very low if he's doing well, unless he's like playing out of his mind in his fourth year. But I feel like third year, you want to make a good evaluation, because you want to decide if you want to keep him or you want to move him. Because if he's not playing that much next season, like we're seeing this season, that's going to be the highest of his value, and not in the last year of a rookie scale contract for a guy that's only averaging 10 minutes a game. So next year is going to be a very big decision for the front office on whether it's going to be Randall or if it's going to be Obi Toppin.
How many minutes does he average again?
I think he's averaging 10.
10
minutes.
Okay. All right. I'll take the tomatoes out. But I figured what we were saying here was obvious for a guy who's averaging 10 minutes a night. But okay. So
11.
11. Okay.
No, wait. Actually, wait. Whoa, 15.
Mistaken.
We're getting 15 minutes a night. We got 15 minutes a night from Obi Toppin.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go, man. There we go. Who else we got on the chat here? Okay, I'm gonna cue Fredo up. Fredo, go ahead and unmute your mic when you get this. But for now, let's go to the phones. JJ from Brooklyn. JJ, how you feeling, bro?
Yo, CP, Alex, what's good, fellas? How you guys doing,
What's good, man? How you feeling?
Chilling. As a Jet fan, I'm kind of depressed. I can't even front. Seeing how, the Tyreek Hill, I was like, are we actually going to get this stud receiver? Oh, killed me,
And then
man.
Miami got him.
Oh, brutal, man.
Look, don't worry.
Don't
worry, Dolphins fans.
Net Knicks fan. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Man.
Tua's not going to be able to reach Tyreek Hill down there. Don't worry.
Yeah, you got to point on that one. Yeah, but it just hurts. Now he's in the division, and man, you can't compete with Miami though with the no state tax and the weather. It's always going to be tough, Miami's just got the advantage.
Yeah.
But what can you do, man? But a couple of points. First, man, like, it was really fun, obviously, seeing all the kids play well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know I'm Team Tank as well, as most people are, but if you're winning because of the young kids, so be it. You can't be mad at it. So RJ was efficient tonight, which was good to see. Sims played well. Obi obviously played great, but something's going to have to give with that situation with him and Randall, hopefully in the off season.
Okay.
But
All right.
my main point real quick was, yeah, what did you say, CP?
No, I'm just agreeing. You know, I'm just agreeing.
Yeah.
People are saying
Right.
wrong. I'm just agreeing with the obvious. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right, though. You know, if it's a wasted pick, if they're both here, there's no doubt about it. You know. But my last point was the one thing with the Knicks that bothers me is I feel like we worry as an organization too much about perception and optics. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, kind of like your point, CP, where you were saying like they should keep Tibbs because it just looks bad how you're like recycling coaches every 2 years. But you can't have an organization, especially in New York, and worry about optics. It's the same thing kind of with Knox, where they should have sent him to the G League last year. But it's like, oh, you know, you can't put a top 10 pick in the G League. It's a bad look because that means he's probably a bust. You know, you can't, and as well with Randall, it's like you can't trade Randall off a great year last year because it's a bad optic. It's a bad perception. I don't think you can worry about those things. You got to do the moves that are right for the organization. That's why I give Ari credit. He was right. He was ahead of the game. You know, it was smart to trade Randall off of last year. We all knew he wasn't going to have this type of year, that type of year this year. Like, you got to make the moves that are right for your franchise. You can't worry about optics and how things are going to look. You know, you just got to make the right moves. But, yeah, that's it, man. Appreciate you guys taking the call. Have a good one, all right?
Okay. Appreciate the call, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. All right. What do you think about that? JJ saying scrap the optics, do what you got to do.
Man, it's tough, man, because this whole – because I agree. It's tough because I agree and I disagree. I know it sounds like I'm hedging, but to think of like the New York Knicks and just think of the optics that we've had throughout the entire history of this team for the last 20 years of just cycling through coaches, you'd like to see at least some stability when you're another coach coming in to the Mecca, right? I mean, we saw Fizdale get 2 seasons. Granted, he was a terrible coach, and I think that was the right decision to get rid of him because he wasn't doing anything, right? For Thibodeau, the issue for me is that the dude won Coach of the Year. He exceeded all expectations, even with the team 2 last season where they make the playoffs. And I know you can't live off the last season for this season because of what we've watched and how he's made blunders as a head coach. I can acknowledge that. His rotations have been kooky. His decision-making, his everything about it is just there's just been a lot of question marks is what you do as a head coach. But still, the fact that he won Coach of the Year, exceeded expectations, to fire him into year 2 when if you told him, hey, man, you're not going to have Derrick Rose, you're not going to have Nerlens Noel, guys who you utilize to anchor your team last season. On top of that, I'm going to give you the front office is going to give you 2 guys that just don't fit your mold of defense first mentality in Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker. I don't know what you're expecting for him to do when all those guys are either out. You had guys who missing time because of COVID, forcing his hand to play some young guys. Even when he started to play some young guys, even the young guys were out due to COVID. And you're getting guys like you get Damian Dotson back off the street. You know, we saw everybody. who else did we have? Did we have? What was it? We had the Wayne Selden.
Wayne Selden
time too. So, so I don't really. It's tough for me to say go fire Tom Thibodeau. I think you give him one more season. But I was talking about this on my podcast, and we had CK on it as well. I think if you keep Tibbs, you gotta get rid of somebody, and that would be Julius Randle. You can't have both of them, and that's where I agree with CK. I think you bring one back, but not both, because it will just fall into the same habits that we saw this season. So I'd rather the Knicks move Julius Randle. He let him go start fresh in a new city, and have Tom Thibodeau for one more season, and force him to use this roster. Force him to use these kids, because I think these kids that we saw tonight, they're playing his game. You see that for tonight, they can play his game and play the style of basketball that he wants. And they still respect him because they're still playing hard. So give Tibbs one more season. Try to figure out a way to move Julius Randle, let him use this roster and have this team to play with next season. And then evaluate it off of that next season.
Yeah. I agree. I think, it's again, the roster construction, right? If you look at the first year, like, how do you think Quickly was averaging 20 minutes a game last year? Because we didn't have that much depth at the guard spot. You had Frank, who was a dud. You had Dennis Smith Jr., who was a dud. You had Peyton, right? You had Burks, and then you had Rose, but you had those three guys, right? Now you bring in Burks on a 3-year deal. You bring in Noel on a 3-year deal. You bring in Fournier. You bring in Bros back. So now you're making last year where you got these guys on the margins, and these are 1-year deals, low investments. Now you have more significant investments in these guys. So he's playing them more. And so, yeah, guys like Grimes, McBride, even Cam weren't prioritized because you had significant money invested in these guys. So for me, it's on the front office to peel a lot of this back, try to trade Noel on the expiring deal now, try to trade Burks on the expiring deal. You know, you want to bring Rose back? I mean, you might have to just for point guard depth, but you see what's up with him. Maybe he wants to go to Chicago or something. You got to peel it back and and if you're going to bring this guy back, you got to peel it back and leave this guy no choice but to infuse a lot of these younger guys. And I think that's how Quickly, in particular, got his opportunity last year. You know, even Obi,
yeah,
even as a backup. You know, he still got his consistent backup minutes because there wasn't any depth there. You know, we didn't have much versatility at the 4. Yeah, you had Taj here and there, but you really didn't have much. This year, you have a ton of guards, you have a ton of wings. So now he's going to play the guys that they invested in. So you got to peel a lot of those guys back. You know, you got to peel a lot of that back if you're going to bring him back as a coach.
Yeah, and for me, like, I know there's a conversation of trying to separate Thibodeau's coaching blunders from the front office, but like any craftsman, any plumber, you're only as good as the tools that you have in your shed. So if the tools that you have in your shed is Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, and you're missing Derrick Rose and Nerlens Noel, what good are you if you have all those as your available options? So that's where I can't, like, I understand the blunders of Tom Thibodeau as a head coach, but it's hard to fully blame him, in my opinion, when you give him guys that don't fit what he does. It's just so hard to do that. It's so hard to separate the two. And this is where I put most of my blame, especially when I read the article where you have, World Wide West blaming Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, you're part of the front office. You're the one, you also signed off on getting all these guys. Okay. Yeah. Sure. We have the reports of Tom Thibodeau saying he wanted Evan Fournier, but whose decision was it to go out and get Kemba Walker?
That's right.
Whose? Okay. Like, if that's the front office say, hey, let's, have a feel good story. He can create offense, not really good at defense. And, Tom Thibodeau likes having the point, like the point of attack being well guarded, or if you want to see Emmanuel quickly get slotted in there and get more minutes, or if you want to see someone else on this roster get more minutes, maybe you want to see Quentin Grimes get more minutes over Evan Fournier, then why would you sign these guys? But I get why you sign these guys, and you don't put all your faith in rookies. You don't know what they are. They're not proven yet. So I get that. But now you see what they are. Now you see what they are. Now you see what they can offer. And that's why this offseason is a critical offseason, because you have to move guys to open up minutes and force, if you're going to have Tom Thibodeau here, once again, force his hand to play these guys and develop these guys, if that's what you want. So that's why I'm in favor of moving Julius Randle, if you can, because I think seeing from, whether how he interacts with the fans, I think it's just not good for a locker room to see how he's gotten fined so many times, arguing with the refs, all that. I don't think that's good for creating good character in a locker room. I think if you have, someone if you see someone who's your designated leader, even though he's not a designated captain or leader, and he's in that locker room showing how he can act and how he can just continue to get minutes and continue to get opportunities, I see that as bad development for your youth, because that says to them, oh, if he can do that, and it's okay for him to play the way that he's playing, it's okay for him to talk to the rest the way that he's talking, it's okay to treat his teammates the way that he's treating them, then it's okay for me to do it too. And I don't think that's a good growing environment for a young team that you have, that you want to develop, you want them to be professionals. And not saying that's already happening. Like, you see quickly how he talks to the refs, very professional, how he talks to the coach, very professional. You hear how RJ Obi talk after press is very professional. So not saying that it is affecting them, but the longer that you keep someone here that is going to influence somebody, it's just not good. It's just not good.
Let's get to the phones. Fredo, you up next, man.
Gentlemen, as always, thanks for taking the call.
How you feeling, bro?
Feeling great. Hope you guys are doing well. First thing I want to say is shout out to Evan Fournier for the breaking the record tonight. That's always huge. He's had a pretty tough season, so we'll have to see him be able to break a record like that. Other thing I wanted to say is to you guys is if we gave everybody some truth serum, right? And we could take a poll and find out everybody that's throwing tomatoes at CP right now. How many of those same people just last year was calling Obi a bust and wanted him gone? They wanted him out of here. And now after one good game, like tonight, not one good game, but after a good game tonight, all of a sudden it's trade Randall, start Obi. So, it's a really fickle fan base. They up and down. But the last thing I'll say is this. I don't think that this front office can honestly justify firing Tom Thibodeau and trading Julius Randle. I think that this season is a direct indictment on them and their lack of an ability to put a competent team on the court. And if this front office trades away Randle and Thibodeau, it fires Thibodeau, I mean, they need to go with them. They're directly intertwined with each other, and they can't get out of that. So if they're going to go, then clean house, and they have to go with them. So have a good night, guys. Thanks for taking the call.
All right. Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call. Fredo calling people out in the chat. Ooh. Man. A lot of tomatoes coming Fredo's way, man. He chose the road less traveled. He's riding with me, bro. He's in my whip. It's me and Fredo. Against all odds. Because
where are you going?
Where are we going? We going for the truth, man. We're going for the truth. All right? Because the funny thing is all these people, look at the game that he had. Look at the game that he had, right? And when Julius comes back, what are the same people going to be saying? Fire the coach, fire the coach, fire the coach. Why? Because the coach won't play the kid. So then it comes back to me being right. Because if the coach ain't playing the kid, then what are you getting out of your pick? That is the bottom line. What we learned here tonight, we know the kid has talent. We know that. And as the previous caller said, he opens things up. He gets out in transition. We've been saying that. 3-ball was flowing for him tonight. Gave us some great energy. We know that. The question remains, will the coach play him in meaningful minutes? Can he finish a game when Julius is healthy on this team? And for 2 years in a row now, the answer has been no. So, if you want to point to me as a bad guy, point to me as a bad guy. I'm just showing you what you're watching on the TV. I'm just showing you what you're watching on the TV, bro. And this was a kid that you picked in the lottery.
Well, this is where it comes down to, like, that's why I keep saying, move Randall, you keep Tibbs, because I think even if you bring in another coach, who are you going to bring in? I want to know we keep saying fire the coach, but I want to know who's the next coach. Like, you want to put Johnny Bryant. If you give Johnny Bryant the same roster next season, and if we believe that this roster is supposed to be an average roster and be a play-in team, then that's the expectation. So if he doesn't achieve that, what's that of Johnny Bryant? And why would you want to put him in a position to not succeed? That's
because
it's a lot, man. It's a lot,
bro. When you're not a great team, the coach is always the first scapegoat. That's sports. You know what I mean? The coach is always the first scapegoat, bro.
Always is.
Always is. Let's salute some of the super chats that have come in. Salute to J Cal in the building. Salute to J Cal, $50 super chat. He says, we're both GMs. What are the first 3 actions in order during the offseason? First 3 actions, Al. What are you doing?
First one's moving Julius Randle, figuring out so I can force Tibbs' hands to put all these kids and see what we got in Obi Toppin. That's the first one. Try to figure out how to move that Noel contract. I'm trying to figure out how I'm bringing it's either the first 3.
First 3.
Figuring out how to move that Noel contract. But I would say that because the other one is like it's re-signing Mitch, but also trying to get Jalen Brunson and bring in a point guard too. Those are the other things I'm trying to figure out. So I think that I think that's what I would do. I think it's because part of me feels like Mitch is gone. I feel like part of me of Mitch is gone. So I think it's trying to do a sign and trade and to get Jalen Brunson in here, see who you can get on the free agent market as like a rim running center, maybe like a JaVale McGee to fill in if you are able to move Nerlens Noel, get him on a cheap deal, like $4 or $5 million deal, because I don't think Jericho Sims is ready to be a starting center, but you can get him more minutes time to an actual contract next season. Get a point guard in here. Let RJ run the offense next season. And then get Julius Randle to a better situation. I don't know if necessarily a better situation, but just get him to a new situation.
Yeah.
So that way, just start everything clean.
I would say first priority for me is getting a point guard in here. That's first thing. Again, trade Burks. I like, just watching quickly these last couple of games, and even though I wanted to see him start, I just feel like he brings so much for this bench unit right now that it's almost a better role for him, and maybe Tibbs sees it that way. Just think if the roles were reversed and you had Burks running that second unit rather than Quickly over, these last, say, since Rose went out. I don't think you get that same dynamic, with that bench unit, man, because Quickly's been that good. He's been that good, man. And he's taking a lot of pressure off these guys. I mean, you look like, he allows McBride to play off ball in a more comfortable position as he learns the role. McBride knocked down a couple nice shots. He's taking pressure off Grimes. I think Grimes, since he's been back, he doesn't seem to be moving so well. And I think he's still trying to find his rhythm with his shot. Between yesterday and today, I thought he missed some opportunities to generate a bit more offense for himself. But I think Grimes is still trying to get into a rhythm. And so that's why I think Quickly is very important for that second unit. So I say that to say I would bring in a starting caliber point guard for the first unit. Somebody that ideally, is careful with the ball, can play off ball, knock down some shots, playing off of RJ, playing off of Julius if he's here. First order of business, get the point guard. Now, whether it's Brunson, whether it's Brogdon or a player that we're not thinking about, get the point guard. It's going to have to be a sign and trade using some of these expiring contracts. Might have to be Mitch. I'm not necessarily opposed to that. Not necessarily opposed to that. So that's first order of business is the point guard. Second, I'm gonna gauge the Randle trade market. And first off, you got to figure out where is he right now? You know what I'm saying? Like where is he mentally? Does he see himself here? How do they get things right as an organization with him? I still see Julius as a talented player. I know people want to run him out of town. He's this, he's that, he's a candidate. They want to use that word. I understand that. I still see him as a talented player. Can we get him right? If not, we trade him. Trade him. You know, as some people have said on Twitter, it could be addition by subtraction. And I think we've gotten to that point right now where you just might have to do it. Because I don't see you getting equal value for him. But at the same time, when you're looking at potentially if they're trying to bark up the Zion tree, you know, is that a trade that, you know, you may want to keep Julius for? So does it behoove you to have him here and hope that he breaks out of his shell? That's what I'm saying. Like, do you really want to sell low on this asset when you look at his contract value over the next few years? Do you try to build that back up so that he can get you somebody? Because you don't want to trade RJ, right? You don't want to trade RJ. And if you get rid of Julius too soon, you're limiting the amount of assets that can really get you that next guy without giving up everything. You know, you got what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. And I think the thing is, though, is this is, to me, this is where it comes back to Obi Toppin and looking into like how you run the offense. Like for Randall, right? He knows he's the number one guy right now on this team. He's not, we can, let's just, because everyone's saying like he's not number one guy. We know he's not number one guy. But for this team, he has been designated as the number one guy. Is he going to take a lesser role? Is he going to allow RJ to be the one to have the offense run through him? Is he going to be comfortable with that?
Right.
Is he going to be more comfortable playing more in the pick and roll, being more of a bully in the paint instead of being a jump shooter? Because he's not really a jump shooter like that. Like, he's going to have to also change his game too and have to fit into what now this offense will be. So if you get a point guard in here, like, I believe that I agree. He is a good player. It's what role do you put him in and who's he playing with? Because if he still has this mindset where it all has to be him.
Right.
Is he going to be that team? Is he going to be that team-oriented guy that we saw last season? Or is he going to be this ISO-driven guy that we see this season? There's a lot of question marks that need to be answered before I want to say, okay, let's bring him back and potentially impact the development of everybody else on this team. Because you know, I want to see Grimes get more minutes and have that opportunity as a shooter. I want to see Quickly get more opportunity as not just being an off-ball guy, but to run the offense as well. Like we're seeing this season, maybe even take on some more responsibility. I want to see RJ run that offense. I also want to see Obi be that energizer that we saw tonight and get more than 15 minutes. Like, I want to see all those things. So there has to be, and that also goes to the coach. Like, is the coach also going to adapt? Because this is where it comes back down to, if he's going to allow Randall to be playing 30 some odd minutes, then what are we doing?
See, my thing is, and my third move is moving Noel. So it's point guard, figuring out Randall, moving Noel, and Burks, and probably Rose, moving those expiring deals. I'm keeping Fournier. My thing is, you trade him low. You're picking again 10th, 11th in the lottery. So you're not getting that Ivy type of guy unless you're trading up for him, trying to trade up for him. So in a future potential trade move, what do you have left? Is it RJ and a bunch of role players? And then what can you put together to go get that next guy? You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
In a Harden deal, you're shipping out Simmons. Right? Like, in the Harden deal to the Nets, you're shipping out Karis LeVert, Jared Allen. You know, young players with promise. You're not trying to move RJ. So that's the only thing I'd be a little bit leery of, why I wouldn't just rush to sell low on him. Tricky situation.
It is. Yeah, it's a delicate balance. You're trying to see. I feel like teams still see. I feel like teams can still see Randall as an impactful player, because we've seen teams just go, you know, they're looking to do the bargain shopping from the Knicks. Like, hey, I could see this guy as a good player. Let's just try to get it for the low value. But I think they still would try to get Randall because he is a good player. Once again, it just goes back to changing his role and who is he playing with and not being that number one option. So
yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
See what happens, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let's go rapid fire on the phones. Got a lot of people in the building that want to chop it up. Let's go to Joe from Ohio. Joe, what's going on?
Yo, what's good, family?
Joe, how you feeling?
I'm good. How you feeling, dog?
Good.
Always want to show love to y'all. You know what I'm saying? CP the guy. Yeah. Alex, he's holding it down. Mm-hmm. Yo, I'm going to hold you, bro. Mm-hmm. I completely 100% agree with you, CP. I don't know why everybody was bugging about the whole Obi thing. That was wild. Bro, that was blowing my mind. Like, yo, the whole fan base is giving you tomatoes right now,
listen, man.
Like, yo.
They're Aggie, man. We're losing. Julius is going haywire. People is just all in their feelings, man. It's been a tough year. You know what I'm saying?
Straight emotions.
The emotions is coming straight my way, man. You know, it is what it is.
Look at it this way. You just broke down the James Harden trade, right? If before we drafted Obi, right now, like y'all said, he's a 10 to 15 minute per game player, right? If we trade him as before we even drafted, you're talking about the value of that number 8 pick. Mm-hmm. If you trade that number 8 pick in some other trade or whatever, that's looked at as a first round pick, as somebody who should be able to come into your fan base with a top 10 pick and be either into your franchise and be either like a building block, something like that, right?
Yeah.
We got a dude who's barely a role player right now. And that's not a slight to Obi. Obi, you're not even saying Obi's messed up. He's trash. What you're saying is, correct me if I'm wrong, bro. What you're saying is that Obi's value.
Yeah, we're talking business
right now.
We're talking business.
Exactly, bro. But the fan base is bugging right now about that.
Yeah, it's emotional time.
And my second point, I'm going to try to be rapid fire for you, big dog. Yeah. My second point about why I'm not a tank commander. Mm-hmm. CP, I'm a tank general, right? Because our best player on our team, or you can look at our most talented player, is who? RJ Barrett, right?
RJ, yep.
Where was he drafted? 3rd overall.
Yeah.
So how you get the best players on your team are 3 ways in the NBA. You could either sign somebody in the offseason, and first off, ain't no free agents lately, and we just ain't been able to do that, right? It is what it is. Trade for somebody. The trade market is not really fire like that right now. Mm-hmm. Or draft somebody. And the way you draft a player of the most talented aspect is by getting a higher pick. You know what I mean? Yep. The way that we get a higher pick is right now is not necessarily just tanking and losing just to lose, but to try to see what your young boys can do. And at the time, they're growing and to be able to win games. Okay. That's why these late season wins is kind of annoying, because we should have been doing this all season, and then you get your losses out the way, which sounds crazy. I know fans, chill out. You get your losses out the way early in the season, and then later on in the season, your young boys could start to get you to hopefully win games.
Okay.
Then you'll be proud of winning.
Man. Appreciate the call. Just going to keep it rapid fire, man. That guy was on point. No relation. I don't know that guy. He was on point. We're talking business. Bryce from Amityville. Bryce, what's going on?
Yo, CP, what's going on, baby? How you feeling?
Good, man. How you doing, bro? What's good?
I'm good. So listen, man, I'll tell you one thing. This guy IQ's the goods, man.
Yeah.
And I say this. I was watching a little bit of post game with Ali and Han. And he's literally seeing a play where he directs Jericho. Like he's directing the offense.
Yeah, you saw that on the alley, right?
Guard supposed to do. Absolutely.
Yep.
Like those kind of improv plays are what we need at the guard spot. And I don't know, a lot of people say Quickly might not be the guy, but he's starting to be something, and something good for us. He's getting Obi involved. He makes Grimes better. And one more thing, he makes your guy AB better because he goes back to his original position, which is the 2 guard.
Talk that talk, man. Talk that talk. I'm telling you, IQ, I'm not sure there's a more confident player than Quickly at the moment, man. I don't know if there's a more confident player than Quickly at the moment. And as you said, he was passing guys open a lot today, whether it was Sims, Taj. You know, Quick's been playing great, man. He's running the offense very well. 7 dimes tonight.
Absolutely, man. We got to see what's going on with that, and then we'll know by the end of the season how we can go forward with our draft.
Yeah, no question, man. Appreciate the call, bro.
Yeah, take it easy, man. Yep. Go New York.
Let's go. Bryce from Amityville. Let's go back to Ohio. This is my arch nemesis, Al. Every time he calls, he's got some static from me. He's got some smoke. Michael, what's going on?
You got it, man. Yeah, I mean,
What's up?
I have some smoke, but I respect your opinion.
Okay.
Now, this whole thing about I hear all these people calling in. Well, Obi can't. Obi can't. Obi can help you win.
Okay.
That's what he does. He's a winning basketball. He's not going to get 25 points and 10 and 12 rebounds every night. He's going to go out there. He's going to play his best. He's not going to cause. Look how he's dealt with Tibbs. I couldn't have done it. If I'd have been his father, I'd have hit him in his mouth the way he talked about it. But, you know, I'm just being real. The dude is a basketball player, and he's a winner. He's willing to go out and get better by working harder. And that's the kind of players we need here with New York. I mean, that he fit in like a glove. And I knew that would happen from day one, because that's what he did at Dayton. I watched every game he played at his home stadium in the University of Dayton. Watched every game. I was there every game.
Okay.
That's what he did. He's not going to go out and go crazy or cuss somebody. He's going to go out there and play, help people up off the floor, and be a good example for the whole organization.
Okay. Appreciate the call, man. This is Michael advocating for Obi, man. Louis from Jacksonville. Louis, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, CP?
Good,
this
man.
is Louis from Jacksonville. I called you last week.
Okay.
Hey, I got an idea.
Yeah.
You know, Randall wants to go home to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can send Randall and we can send our broken boy to Dallas because they need help in the center spot.
Mm-hmm.
Get a bunch of players and then flip them to Portland and get Anthony Simmons, who is an excellent point guard, because you know when Lillard comes back, Anthony's not going to be playing. So there's a possibility, instead of looking at the Dallas point guard and doing a trade and them taking advantage of us, we give them Randall, we give them our broken center, and just because they need a backup center, and then we can get some of their picks flipped over towards Portland to get us a guard, and then spend some time and figure out how we can go to another team that has an excellent player and send them some of their players. One of those 4-for-1 things like we did for Carmelo. What do you think?
I appreciate the call, man. I don't see Anthony Simons being available anytime soon for Portland. They're trying to keep as much talent as they can to keep Dame happy. You know, they're talking about maybe going to get Jeremy Grant. That was always the plan since they traded CJ. If Grant falls out, could Randall be an option there? We'll see about that. You never know, but I think Anthony Simons isn't a realistic option for us. Sadly, would love to have him. Want to shout out Al, my guy Ricky down in Charlotte. Ricky Radio Charlotte, man, was at the game, sitting behind the bench, repping the squad, repping KnicksFanTV. I see GB in the chat said that KnicksFanTV, the Road Warriors, were in the building heavy tonight at the Chase Center, man. So shout out to everybody that was out there repping with us. Always repping the brand on the road, which is big. You know, just goes to show you the reach of this channel and where it's going. So shout out to everybody that was at the game repping KFTV. And most importantly, Al, right before they signed off from Charlotte, who makes his debut on MSG but the mayor, Jay Boogie, gets some TV action, man. That was dope to see,
Let's
man.
go.
Jay Boogie on the closing montage on MSG. So shout out to Jay Boogie. That was a dope moment. Just caught it randomly. It's Jay Boogie in the cut. Motivating somebody. I need Jay Boogie to call in. I need to know who he was talking to with the hand signals and motivating somebody. I think he was flashing the Jay Boogie symbol on the snap. But Jay Boogie, the closer, the motivator, is not only on the phone but in person as well, man. Maybe he got Obi going tonight. Maybe it was Jay Boogie signaling to Obi to go off. But shout out
Gave him a motivational speech.
He gave him a motivational speech, man. So shout out to Jay Boogie. And that was real cool to see. Certainly a surprise, man. Welcome surprise. Shout out to
And
Jay
he's
Boogie.
decked out, man. Look at him decked out in his Knicks gear.
Decked out,
That's what you
man.
love to
So
see.
Jay Boogie's gonna pull up on us. So he's doing the Charlotte home and home. So he's out there in Charlotte. He's from North Carolina, but he's coming up to the Big Apple He's from
He's
from New York. Correct. Put some respect on his name. Jay Boogie's a New Yorker, straight from Queens. Lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. But he's coming up for the Knicks versus Hornets game when we do it at MSG. So Jay Boogie will be there commentating with me and a cast of characters, man. So looking forward to linking up with Jay Boogie next week at the Garden. Okay, let's get to Benji. And then we'll get into our prize picks of the night. Benji, what's going on?
What's up, CP? What's up, Alex?
How you
Much
doing, bro?
love. Happy to be walking tonight, man. It's been a while. Nice win, man. You know, I had no delusions of grandeur here, but I knew when I ran into Ari from Manhattan, who lives a mere 3 blocks away from me in the hood, I knew it was going down tonight, and I knew the karma was too strong. Now, Ari and I are on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Okay.
He's a tankster. I'm the opposite, right? I'm like fight until the end. Tonight was good for long term. I think obviously seeing RJ with the back-to-back 30-point games, very impressive. You'd have to say this is probably Obi's best game of his career. Like given the situation that it was in a winning game, he was playing meaningful minutes. He's kind of doing a little bit of everything. 6 assists, hit a couple threes. That was impressive. I thought Deuce obviously was strong tonight. Nice to see him make some threes. And then, honestly, the way I look at it, obviously I know we have it's going to take a miracle for us to make the play-in, but something about that Charlotte team, man, they rubbed me the wrong way. Like, when I saw Miles Bridges, when they started making a comeback and he had a dunk and he started pumping his fist, like, let's go. There's something satisfying about withstanding that and actually coming. You know, I'm tired of giving games away to these teams that don't deserve to win, man. Like, all the games we've blown, man, just like I'm tired of it. Like from the sheer competition. Like we really spoiled it tonight for Charlotte. I mean, there's a big game for them. So let's make sure we have Jay Boogie at that game next Wednesday. He's the good luck charm. And you know, one last thought before I sign off because I know it's rapid fire. You know, I'm a big Fournier guy. I think his best role would be next year to have him kind of in that Jordan Clarkson role. Obviously, he's not the athlete Jordan Clarkson is, but I think in that sort of like let him play 27, 28 minutes a night off the bench and come in when he's hot, and he'll play more if he has it going. I think that's just a better role for him because, you know, obviously we need a point guard, so we need somebody that needs to feed him the ball. Like if you look at the Utah game, he had it going, and then all of a sudden he wasn't getting the ball anymore and getting any touches. It's like too much of that where you need to when you have a good point guard, he knows how to get the guy that's hot going and keep feeding him. So that's one thing that we're likely going to have next year, I'd have to imagine. What do you think of the 3-point record, man? Does it mean anything? I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being like something important, do you think there's anything to the 3-point record, or is it just like a byproduct of the times of like guys taking a lot of threes? Like, just curious to what both of your guys' thoughts are, and I'll let you sign off.
No, I mean it means nothing to me, honestly. You know, I've liked Fournier since he got here, but still understood that, you know, he can be a low impact player sometimes. And so to me, it's not about the volume. It's about how timely are you on your shots? How clutch are you on your shots? Are you knocking these down when the heat is on our back and we need to stave these teams off? Are you knocking them down when we need to make an important run? Are you knocking them down at the buzzer off of a nicely executed play? So the amount isn't really that surprising because let's be honest, I mean, Fournier has been a high volume 3-point shooter and a very efficient one. You know, again, right now he's right around his career average, or especially last year, which is around 7 attempts on about 40% shooting. So that's good. And I think going forward with this team, I think, you know, as a player off the bench, I think it's something that we could use. Well, why not? I don't think you can ever have enough shooting. So, but I think he's a guy that can help us off the bench. Now, tonight on Prize Picks, Al, I actually took, as we segue into Prize Picks, shout out to Prize Picks, our daily fantasy sports made easy. Prize Picks, props, the best props out there on the market, man. And when we talk about props, we're just talking about overs and unders in this game. But with Fournier, Al, I took the under 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It was a very low number, but Fournier typically gets a lot of his production with Julius. And as a matter of fact, in the 3 games without Julius, Fournier's only averaging about 11 points per game. And so coming in on the second half of a back-to-back, no Julius to play off of, where I think Fournier gets a lot of his shots in rhythm, I went with the under, and I hit that. So I took Evan Fournier under 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He finished with 20. It was very close because he was also facilitating fairly well out there. But he still missed that number. So I did end up hitting that. Another prop that I played with on Prizepicks tonight, Cade Cunningham, man. Cade has been red hot, hitting the over 20.5 points per game mark in about, I think, like 7 out of his last 10 games. The Hawks visiting the Detroit Pistons, but Cade fell just short tonight, 17 points, so I missed that. I went with Miles Bridges, over 18.5 points over the Knicks tonight. I just felt like again, on the second half of a back-to-back, Bridges, being that athletic piece, with Obi or Fournier having to guard him, I didn't think the Knicks would fare well. He had his moments, but it wasn't one of those outlier Bridges nights. Finished with 15, so he fell a little bit short. So I didn't hit that. With no Ja Morant and the Nets visiting the Memphis Grizzlies, I took Desmond Bane over 20.5 points. I just figured somebody was going to have to score the ball for Memphis there, and Desmond Bane would certainly have to increase his shooting volume. Finished with 23 points, so I did hit that over with Desmond Bane. And then the last over I hit was RJ. I hit RJ over 5 free throws made. I hit that, obviously, with no Julius here. Offense is going to flow through RJ. And again, he had an outstanding night. Very efficient. 10 of 19 from the field. Very aggressive on his drives. And 7 of 8 from the stripe. So I hit 3 out of 5 tonight. Wasn't the 5 out of 5 I was looking for, but still cashed in. So for you people at home, play to win. Play responsibly. Go to prizepicks.com. Enter promo code KFTV for a 100% match on your deposit of up to $100. Okay. Let's got a couple more calls in the queue. I see a couple more calls in the queue. Let's go to E-Crossover. E-Crossover, go ahead and mute your mic when you get a chance. E-Crossover on the Discord. E-Crossover on the Discord. All right, not hearing from E-Crossover. I hear Ari. Ari, what's going on? Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's up? You guys hear me all right?
Yeah, good to go.
All right, man. Listen, there's a lot going on right now. That needs to be stopped. Okay, needs to be absolutely stopped. All right, I'm hearing some crash takes. All right, I've been sipping a little bit, so just take it with a grain of salt.
Oh boy, remember it's a family show. We need rapid fire. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so CP's talking business.
Yeah,
but he threw 4 years, $117 million to catch cancer because of 60 COVID games. So I don't want none of that business. Okay, Alex, you saying Tibbs doesn't have tools? He's been given wrong tools for the shed. All of these tools were in the shed all year. He just kept the tools in the toolbox and didn't open it up to win some games. All right. He's had Sims. He's had Deuce. He's had Obi sitting on the bench. All right. Here's another thing. All right. I'm tired of this deflection fan TV. All right. We understand that the front office is the most at fault. They hired Tibbs. They paid Randall. They are the most at fault. We all agree. Everyone agrees with this.
Okay.
However, the roster construction is trash, but you're not firing Tibbs because of the roster construction or of his record. Okay. You're firing him because of his coaching decisions, all right? His ISO-heavy, slow-paced offense, making zero adjustments and trash rotations, all in the name of continuity. By that logic, every single coach should get 3 years no matter what. They should just, every coach, no matter how bad they are, continuity, 3 years, right?
The pace looked pretty good tonight, did it not?
One game when he's forced to play the kids
when
his favorite toy is sitting on the bench?
It's not one game.
Of course it did. He was forced in this position.
It's not one game.
Right?
They've been picking up the tempo in a lot of these games since like the second half of the season. Not just one game, bro.
Okay.
It's not
if you look at the advanced metrics, okay? If you look at the game literally before this game, Tom Thibodeau literally Obi Toppin missed a 3.
Mm-hmm.
He called Randall to come to the scores table. They stole the ball. He gave it to Obi. Obi dunked it. He took Obi out of the game, put Randall back in. Randall missed a layup. Utah scored. Randall's got the ball, turned it over. Utah scored. All right. His rotations are garbage. His tempo is garbage. His offense is garbage. If he had Randall tonight, he would have played ISO Randall all night. Obi would have had 10 minutes. And here's my last point. I'm going to just drop the mic on this, all right? We did not botch the Obi pick. We botched the fact that we didn't trade Julius Randle when I and everyone said trade Julius Randle. My resume speaks for itself, okay? I've called this whole thing, okay? If they just stick to the plan, drafted Obi, and traded Julius Randle like they were planning on doing and didn't care about optics, like JJ from Brooklyn said, didn't care about optics, we would have traded Randall. Obi would be getting 40 minutes a game. We'd be developing our players. We'd have 2 first-round draft picks, and Tibbs would be forced to develop the youth. But they didn't. And guess who called it?
So
I
as
did.
a result
Adios.
that they didn't,
I'm done.
What is it? It's a botch. It's a botch. You took the opposite direction to get to the same point that I'm trying to get to. Because they didn't trade him, right now it is a botch. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The rest of your points were good. A lot of fives in the chat. Go ahead.
My thing with the tools in the tool shed, right? You're not benching, even though I wanted Evan Fournier benched, you're not benching a guy that you signed to 4 years, 70-some-odd million. You're not going to play Nerlens Noel when he's available. You're not going to start Sims. You can't even start Sims because he's on a 2-way contract. And he's only allowed to play 45 games throughout the season until you got to pay him. And they're not gonna do that for a kid who they took with the 58th pick and they can just use down in the G League and get him some run. You're not going, even though Tibbs did bench Kemba Walker, and we saw the backlash that he got, not just we just saw the backlash that we got from all of the NBA world. You're benching Kemba Walker. What are you doing? This, that, and the third. So then you bring it back. He has some good games. You can't go back to benching him. You just can't. Now you got to play him because you're like, oh, wow. If you can give me some 40-point games, I got to rely on some 40-point games somewhere out of there. So who are you benching to let Quentin Grimes got into the rotation, by the way. Who else are you benching to get everybody else into the rotation? And this is what I'm saying. You gave Tibbs a cluttered roster.
You gave him too much. You gave him too much.
You can't say, oh, yeah, bench Evan Fournier just to start Quentin Grimes. Then if you want to trade him, you can't trade him. You legitimately cannot even get good value for a guy that you just paid. So then whose fault is that?
Al talking business right now. Pay attention.
So what else you want to do? Who else you move? Oh, you want to move Kemba Walker? Yeah, he's going to be a bad contract at the end of the season. But you got to play him. So who else are you putting out there? This is where I say it's the front office. This is why I say for Tibbs, for a guy who's given way too much, you cannot say it's all his fault because he's got too much in the shed and crappy shit in the shed. Sorry, it's a family show, but it is what it is at this point. It is what it is. You can't tell me saying, just bench Evan Fournier, bench all these guys. It doesn't matter. We wasted all this money. No business would ever do that. If Leon Rose went to James Dolan and said, hey, we're going to bench Evan Fournier, who you just gave a big contract to, just to start Quentin Grimes and to get Cam Reddish some minutes in there, James Dolan's going to look at you and he's going to fire everybody and he's probably going to just do and then we're going to just ground zero all over again.
Listen, as I had McDonough on the show, former GM of the Suns, this is a question I asked. Do you bench vets that you're trying to trade? His response, that would be counterproductive. So, that's just what it is. You obviously the moves that they made, it was understood. Now that you're seeing what some of your kids can give you, it's adjust. They adjusted one way. Now you just, maybe not completely the other way, but now you make some moves to thin this thing out and incorporate some of your younger players that you have on more controllable contracts, maybe you can get better value out of that. That's all it is.
Didn't we say after the trade deadline show that we wanted to see some of the veterans minutes reduced and see
Correct.
the young kids get played? Wasn't that what we were all asking for?
Yeah.
We all asked for that because we knew up until the trade deadline, you have to play these guys because you have to get some sort of value out of them. Otherwise, if you just bench these guys, you're going to be just paying a lot of guys just to waive them. Yeah. And that's counterproductive. That's just counterproductive.
You speaking my language, man. You speaking my language, Al. Good stuff, man. Tom from Huntington. Tom, what's going on? A couple more, we'll wrap it up. Tom and Truth. Tom was good.
Gentlemen, fantastic work as always. Shout out to Manscaped for not only making me a dancer, but also improving my crossover skills on the court. I'm going left and right with the handle. It's sickening. Prizepicks for giving me some extra cash. Appreciate it. As far as what you guys were saying, I agree 1,000% with UCP as far as the pick is botched if you're only going to get 3 to 5 minutes from this guy. It's the 8th pick in the draft.
It's simple math.
If you're going to get 3 to 5 minutes, it might make more sense to move him. Personally, I'd rather move Randall, but his value is at a low as well. I mean, I think there's teams that might be even scared off of him. I mean, the talent's there, but a lot of the mental stuff, they might just say, you know what, we don't want that. So they're kind of in a predicament now as far as what they're going to do with that. But bottom line, they got to thin it down a little bit. You can't give a coach, because I don't think he's moving. I don't think they're going to get rid of Tibbs, no matter what everybody's saying. He's not going anywhere. This front office brought him in. You know what I mean? He was their signature. So they're gonna go down with him. Let's give it a couple of weeks into next season. That if he starts off like crap, then you never know. But they got to thin it down. You can't give a coach like that 13 players and expect him to play 13. The guy plays 9, 10 at the max. So you got to give him more better, also maybe some better defensive players as well. But anyway, rapid fire. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks for taking my call. I'll talk to you on Friday.
Tom, appreciate it, Tom. Definitely appreciate the call. Hit that thumbs up button for you, boys. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. We got 1,700 in the chat, 600 likes. Let's get those likes up, man. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share these videos. This is Knicks Postgame Live presented by Prizepicks. If you guys are new in the chat, leave us a hashtag new. We'll shout you guys out. And yeah, man, thanks for rocking with us. Knicks win, a nice Knicks win tonight over the Charlotte Hornets, 121-106. Knicks offense firing on all cylinders, man. The three-pointers, the dimes, 44% from 3, 30 assists tonight. Excellent job. 5 steals, free throws on point on the second night of a back-to-back. It was excellent job by the Knicks youth movement. No question about it. Can't deny it. Cannot deny that. Okay. Truth, what's the deal?
Yo, what's up, man? CP, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. What's good, bro?
Hey, what's up, Al, man? Light skin Alex, what's good with y'all? Hey, the boys were fooling with Trae Young last night on the live video.
Oh, man, it was not a family show on the let out. You know what I'm saying? It was not a family show whatsoever. But shout out to everybody I ran into at MSG, man. Always a good time whenever I pull up there.
That was bad, real, good, CP. Man. You need some more of that there, man.
Yeah. But, we got to do some more of those.
We're going to start this phone call off right. Shout out to Knicks Nation, KFTV. Hit that like and subscribe button on the way to 50K. First things first, how about RJ, Broadway, Bulldog, Bad Man, Bang Bang, Machine Gun, Barrett. 2 straight 30-point games, no Julius. Obi came alive this game. McBride out there showing the range. IQ for PG is becoming a real thing. I just love how he controlled the pace off the bench and can space the floor because of his shot. Taj with the great shooting night. Burks Hive was in full effect. Quality minutes from Jericho with the absence of Mitch. And I came to the conclusion that Kimber was the reason Fournier looked so bad, even though I agree he should be like a 7-man for the Knicks. But congrats on him for breaking the record. And I know it's going to be a long, hard walk-up tomorrow, and I'm a UAPB alumni, but go Hogs. And that's just what it is.
Yeah, man. Truth, preaching the truth. Nice rundown, man. Salute to you, bro. Definitely appreciate it. Salute to Alan Glickman in the chat. Alan, what's going on? Team #new. Welcome to the squad, man. Salute to all the mods in the chat. King Deej, JJ, TM, I see you in there. Salute, who else we got in here? Andrew H, always in here and on time. Salute to the Rhyme Animal, Chuck D, Logic Sir, Dawn Baxter, Joseph Rivas, Just Jordan, how you feeling? Joanna, how you feeling? Above the rim in here, what's going on? Did you guys see on the live stream, speaking of the live stream from Truth, man, our squad from Germany pulled up on us last night, Al. So the Germany contingent came out there heavy. They were definitely deep. They came through to the game, ran into them outside as well. So, yeah, shout out to them, man. Travel all the way from Germany annually to come see the Knicks play. Tough loss last night, but they bounced back in a major way. King Deej, wrap it up on the Discord. King Deej, let's go.
Yo, well, run it up, orange and blue. Know what I mean? Listen, I'm giving roses today, man. I could care less about this Randall talk or all this other stuff, man. I'm not here for that. My boy Obi was my initial pick when the draft started last year. My man pulled out. It's on record, documented, so I'm happy that he had a good game. Yeah, he played 40 minutes, but listen, that's what it is. If you look around the league, kids get better by playing more minutes. That's just how it is in Memphis. They just smoked the Nets. RJ first back-to-back 30-point game. Shout out to Evan Fournier. If I want to keep one of the vets, I'm keeping him to come off that bench, man.
Smart man.
Three-point skill is a skill. 3-point shooting is a skill that's needed in this league. I need that. I need more of that. If I gotta take him off that bench real quickly, best believe I'm gonna do it, man. So I just want to give the whole roses to everybody because I'm just happy that they went and fought tonight. That's all I care about. I hear people calling, being on your side, CP, being on. It don't even matter. Like, you guys gotta talk ball. Who cares about who's right or wrong? Like, talk hoops, man. And I just feel like this was a step in the right direction. Now going forward, yes, they gotta make these decisions. They can't go into next year. And I'm sorry. They gotta make a decision. They can't go into next year with Randall and Obi on this team together. Because this is year 3, and then after year 3 is the year that you gotta decide.
Yeah.
You already failed. You already failed now with former picks. You failed with Mitch with that.
Say that again. Say that again. For louder for the people in the chat.
Listen, man, they gotta make a decision this summer on who they want to keep, and the other one has to go, because after year 3, you have to commit to them. So it doesn't matter, man. Whoever it is, I'm supporting with them, but you got to make that decision this summer, man. The vets, and listen, shout out to you for saying Ryan McDonough, but Ryan McDonough's not my GM, man. He's known for having 3-point guards in Phoenix all at the same time. Yes, he got Devin Booker. Congrats. He also got a lot of thuds that he drafted. You can go look it up on the Google.
It wasn't about that, of course. And every GM is not going to bat 1,000. But the business principles are still there when you're talking about, just reversing course. When you invested all of the owner's money in these pieces, they're going to play. And even if you want to trade them, they're going to play. Just some of those things. Not about his record and what he got, what he didn't get.
For sure.
Just the
for sure. And
process.
I'm not here to debate that. For sure. Yeah, you have to play them in order to trade them. But I just want to say this. And this is just the only Randall take I'm gonna say, man, because it's not about Randall tonight. Randall should not even be talked about right now. If you're gonna decide to keep Randall, caution. If you keep Randall and this gets worse, CP, Alex, for next year, if he looks worse, if there's more off the court issues, you're not getting your bang for the buck, and that's what Ari's talking about when the skill was at its highest. So yeah, I hear you. You might want to bring him back one more year, but you don't know what type of Randall you're gonna get. He might get worse. So I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna just say that. That's all I care about that. I'm not here to. I'm not a hater. I don't care about none of that. But congrats to the young kids, man. Shout out Evan Fournier. And listen, man, we going into this draft. I expect all these vets to be removed from this team. So yes, that philosophy is true. You played them. Evan Fournier got the 3-point record. Burks looks like a solid vet. Randall looks like a solid vet. Now get him up out of here, man. I've seen enough.
Yeah.
Peace and love.
Okay. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Let's see if we got this Fournier audio on the on the 3-point record here. What's he saying? Hang on. So to everybody in the chat, hit that thumbs up.
You know, my teammates, and I don't know. It's I have a lot of emotions. I'm proud, happy. I'm thankful for all the assists that I got from my teammates and guys putting me in a situation to break that kind of record. And the fact that it's in such a big historical franchise, and take the record from John Starks, who famous guy, famous player. I don't know, man. It's hard to put words on exactly how I feel, but I'm gonna call my friends, parents, and family, and it's gonna be a great night.
All right. So that was Fournier on the 3-point record, Al. Classy guy, man. Classy guy. That was my immediate impression when he came to KnicksFanTV first to get the smoke and talk to the people when he got here to New York. I give him a lot of credit for that. Good.
No, that's a fact. The one thing I like about Fournier is that he's very candid with his interviews, whether it's talking about plays, what he thinks the team can do better when it comes to coaching, everything. True professional.
Yeah.
Look, no matter what I say, look, I agree with you. We said you're not benching him for Deuce McBride when we had that call, whatever that was.
Right.
Even if I wanted to trade him for 2 second rounders, look, he's got the 3-point record, good 3-point shooting. As King D says, you do need that. I think he's a good bench. I think he'd be perfect coming off the bench. But hey, kudos to him. I like what he has to say sometimes when I listen to these pressers.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And CP, actually, no, I can't even refer to that name because we have a little bit of a legal battle right now. The artist in the chat. Yeah, he's a complete imposter, but we're gonna get to the bottom of that. He said he's surprised Allen Houston wasn't on that list, and funnily enough, H2O wasn't, man. It was Fournier, Starks at 217. Next was J.R. Smith at 189. Danilo 186. Saw him last night, man. It was good to see Danilo out there, man. I always rock with the Rooster, man. That's still my guy. 186, and then Jamal Crawford, the recently retired Jamal Crawford, at 185. So yeah, now Allen Houston nowhere near it. Not even in the top 5. Very, very interesting. Yeah, very. Yeah, listen, it is impressive. Not to say that it doesn't mean anything. It is impressive.
No, I meant for the Houston, it's impressive that he's not up there. That's what I meant.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Well, H2O okay to give it to you from the mid-range now. Don't sleep.
No, that's a fact. I'm just shocked that he's not up there on that list.
Yeah.
I'm actually more shocked that Jamal Crawford's up there over H2O.
Yeah, well, JC's letting it fly. And some nights he might be 10 for 20. Some nights he might be 3 for 20. But they're going to fly, So, JC, you were getting that volume. But, yeah, H2O was he was a long two, mid-range kind of guy as well. Pure form. But salute to the artist for the alley. We'll just call him the artist, man. Been trying to trade that guy for years. He still comes around every night. J Boogie, closing the show. J Boogie, let's go. Hello?
Hey, salute. 3 capital
J Boogie on the
man.
road.
Shout out to everybody, man. Blessings to everybody. Wishing healthy, and everybody safe. God bless everybody, man. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the squad. CP, my GM, great man, general manager. Alex Lex Luger, a.k.a. the young Franco Harris. Young and fly, gifted, in the building. J Boogie, I'm in the building. Yo, I just want to say, last night was a game in New York. Young guys felt bad about what they had going on, but they took their shower and got directly on that plane and took a flight all the way to Charlotte and got here early this morning, had some country breakfast and everything, and realized, I had a game tonight. They had a game tonight.
and they walked into a hostile building, and they looked around, you know what I'm saying, and they seen 40% of that turquoise and white, and they looked around, and they seen 60% of that orange, white, and blue standing up in the arena, letting them know, yo, we here with you, man. And here they come out the tunnel, and we was dead up on them, letting them know we here. It's time to rock. Forget what everybody else is saying. Trade this person, trade that person, take this, win this, you know what I'm saying? Tibbs this, Tibbs that, office this, office that. This night, one night tonight, stand up. And them young guys, they came out there and they performed, you know. Shout out to them young guys, you know what I'm saying? Them young guys, you know what I'm saying? Obi Toppin, shout out to Quickly, shout out to McBride Deuce, all them young guys, you know what I'm saying? All that right there, they came and they stood up and they did what they had to do. And of course, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the RJ Commandment. He was in the building again, you know what I'm saying? He came out there sluggish. You seen him looking in his face. He was like, man, I really don't know if I got it tonight. You know, I really don't know. All right, get you some stretching. Get you some extra stretches. Get motivated. Turn it up. You know what I'm saying? He gave him that breather in the first. He gave him an early breather, too. And RJ came on that sideline. He was getting some stretches. What the camera wasn't showing is RJ was getting some stretches in the timeout, along with quickly getting them extra stretches. And them guys was ready, man. I'm happy that we won this game tonight. It made me feel good. It made me feel great to go out there, support our team, support our nation, support our fan TV, support our chat, and turn up, you know what I'm saying? And we got a dub.
Let's go.
For tonight, make people stand up, feel good about the game. Stop acting like during that game you wasn't watching, you weren't cheering, and you weren't hoping you get a win. And then all of a sudden, you want to flip it around the other way when the game is over and start talking about next year's stuff, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy a night,
Enjoy
man.
the moment.
Do you know how to go out and enjoy a night? Feel good in the present, in the moment. This is a moment situation for the young guy. Who knows? Maybe Tom sees something that he can put inside his notebook and build off it. We don't know that. We don't know that at all. You know what I'm saying? But just be grateful for the night, man. Be grateful for the great day you had, man. Be grateful you had a home to even watch TV. Be grateful that you got a roof over your head. Be grateful you got a job. Be grateful you got a family. Be grateful that you are a blessful child. No matter if you're a man or a woman, you're a blessful child, man. Everybody continue on staying healthy and safe, man. Big up to the Knicks squad tonight. I loved everything. I enjoyed myself tonight, and I was happy for the team, man, that we went out there and we fought. We didn't lay down, and Charlotte was trying to put us out the building all the way. Hold up, Charlotte. Hold up, Charlotte. Hold up, Charlotte. Not tonight. Not on your floor, man. Not on your floor. And I did talk to Obi. Obi gave me some good looking and everything, and little head nods and all that. And I talked to Evan, too, and that first time, yo, Evan, you got to turn up, man. I'm here to get that number 3 tonight, man. He looked at me like I was crazy. Yeah, I need you to get that number 3 tonight. Turn up, man. Your first shots were sluggish, man. A big-time win, man. Everybody played good. Tom had a lot of body language, you know what I'm saying? He wanted this win. The team fought, man. They fought, man. They fought. Young kids learning how to fight, man. God bless everybody. I'm going to let you know y'all have a glorious day, man. And those that's coming out, man, can't wait to see y'all next Wednesday, man.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait to see y'all Wednesday, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a joyful time, man. You know what I'm saying? He got something special going on for us. You know what I'm saying? We all out there on the floor. We mingling. We dancing. We having a good time. We meeting one another. We hugging. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't debating or nothing. Just a joyful time coming, man. Y'all have a great night, man. And God bless you all, man. Talk to y'all next time. Salute, 3 capital S.
The closer, J Boogie. Excellent sermon now. That was an excellent sermon, man. He was in the building. The RJ commandments, a lot of bars. If don't let it go over your head, like my guy Hector from Harlem will say. Don't let it go over your head. My guy J Boogie came through with some in-person, in-game bars. The mayor. I said, MSG said, yo, we can't sign off until we salute J Boogie. Close the MSG show. Close KnicksFanTV. Can't get no better than that. The closer getting worldwide recognition. Can't get no better than that, bro.
So.
Can't get any better than that, bro. Shout out to J Boogie, man. See you next week. Gonna be a good time on KnicksFanTV live from MSG in the return match, the final match between Charlotte and the Knicks. Now, somebody was asking to check Tankathon. Knicks currently 11th in the Tankathon right now at 31-42. They are, they're in a tricky spot, man. I mean, they're 2.5 back of the Portland Trailblazers of that 9th spot. 2.5 games back. You have 9 games left. See how it goes. Right now they have a 9% chance of cracking the top 4. 2% chance at the number 1 pick. I'll tell you one person who threw the keys to the tank in the garbage. That's RJ Barrett. So you could forget it, because RJ's playing a win. He's
playing a win, man.
RJ's playing a win. So forget that, man. Forget that. So I mean, ideally you're gonna be looking at probably the 10th or 11th pick, man.
And all you can do is pray, man. Pray for luck. Hope we get that luck like the Grizzlies and the Lakers.
Yeah. So, as you can probably figure it out now, Benedict Mathurin will be gone by like 10. Mathurin, the way he's playing in this tournament now, he could crack top 5. Who knows? But, it'll be our luck that he's just not even there. 2 picks away. Two
Johnny
picks.
Davis.
Yeah, right. So looking forward to the matchups. Looking forward to the matchups tonight. This weekend for sure. Definitely looking forward to the matchups this weekend. Let's salute the super chats. Let's salute the Rhyme Animal Chuck D. $5 super chats. Well, let me refresh real quick. Doing well without the glasses on the super chats. I'm kind of proud of myself. I'm kind of doing well. Shout out Rafael Joel Rubio. Shout out Jimmy Faustin, says RJ's the man. One with him in points and free throws. Real talk though, the team plays better with RJ being the lead man. I hate to say this, but it would be nice to trade Julius and keep Obi. Louis Figueroa says $5 super chat, says KFTV is the best show in the biz. I'm riding with KFTV and my Knicks till I die. Fancy's 83 in 75, born in 75. Needed KnicksFanTV black fitted. Keep up the work, bro. Yeah, fitteds are coming, man. Fitteds are coming. Do me a favor, if anybody in the chat has sold merch using WooCommerce, hit me up. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Instagram. I'm trying to figure out WooCommerce right now, and because we're shifting to doing our own merch, right? It's part of the whole ownership cycle. We're moving away from Teespring, which was handling all of the logistics. We're gonna do it ourselves, so we just got to figure out that back end configuration with WooCommerce. If you guys have experience with WooCommerce, definitely hit me up. I could use some assistance there. Ari sends a super chat. Ari's back. Family squabbles. KFTV's fam. Lose out and tank. Trade Randall. Fire Tibbs. Move Burks. No L expirings. Develop the kids. Ari sipping on this Wednesday night. Just throwing a bunch of words together in the super chat, but we appreciate it. Daniel Perez says, normally agree with Ari, but if you show me someone that wants Obi over Halliburton, I show you a liar, a.k.a. botched pick. Daniel saying the sacred words. Okay, he's not afraid of the smoke. Rock Nazmatza says, Tibbs is who we thought he was. The same guys in Chicago and Minnesota. No flexibility. Russell Reed says, great show as always. Can we do a point guard show? Who's available? Who do you want? Oh, that's absolutely going to be a show coming up, Russell, for sure. Josh B says, the next guy is Cam Reddish. Trade Randall and give RJ and Reddish grow into the stars that they can be. Give them the keys. David Claudio says, I see Summer League Obi on that court. Trade Julius tomorrow. The original plan was to have Tibbs build a culture with Obi and RJ and develop a young team, not the vets. Troy Davis, change the show from KFTV to Tibbs Fan TV. Love the show, but if y'all continue to disregard Tibbs' flaws, it's hard to respect Tibbs. Where's Ari at? It's not about disregarding his flaws. I talked about it last night. There was no reason why Obi shouldn't have finished that game. I said it on Twitter. I said the whole Taj thing is getting crazy. You saw, Al, when Jericho made the mistake late in the fourth quarter. Who came right back in the game? Taj. Now, coincidentally, he made a nice pass to catch Obi on a filthy one-handed alley to close the game, pretty much ice it. So, you know, you get that. But, yeah, I mean, you know, we're going to do the same thing every night. The guy's flaws are what it is. We know what it is. Let's talk about the positives and the kids that played well tonight. Or did they play well because of Tibbs? Let me not go there. Let me not go there. Above the rim, Danny Ainge should have been the executive. He would have gotten rid of Randall quick, fast, and in a hurry after most improved season, and Rose and Worldwide West is on the clock. Yes, fair point. El Dantastico says, I don't fully blame Tibbs for this season. If Randall played like he did last year, our record would be a lot better. And it probably would be better if he had Rose. I blame Julius. Sorry, Mrs. Randall. Ooh, put on the earmuffs. Rhyme Ammo Chuck D says, I dig Julius and Mitch. However, they're both out of towners who don't mind living and playing out of New York town. It totally feels like they don't want to be here. I think Mitch's demeanor can come off that way. But you know, I think Mitch will be here if the money's right. That's all I'll say. Gotcha Open says, smash that like button. Love the pace and the spacing of this game. Yeah, pace was excellent. You know? I mean, if we're watching these games, I think we got to call it like it is. I think they've been trying to play faster for quite some time now. Whether it's with the Rock in Julius's hands, RJ, IQ. It don't happen with Burks. He's slow as hell. You know, but I think they've been trying to do it.
First Lady Sports. I mean, it looks better when they're... Yeah, for sure. I mean, it looks better, especially the last two nights. They've been moving a lot faster. Burks, I don't know why he can't figure out how to push the pace, man. It just never happens. Never happens.
True story. Shout out First Lady of Sports. $10 super chat. Thank you very much. She says, CP, you are correct. When Obi sits on the bench, he is a dud. But remember, Jermaine O'Neal sat on the bench of the Portland Trailblazers bench, and he became an all-star when he got traded to the Pacers. Great point. As long as number 30 is there, you don't see nights like this. Robert Parrish says, Young Knicks allowing everyone to breathe easy. Take notes, tips. Miguel M, $20 super chat says, congrats to the Knicks. Shout out to J Poogie, all the Knicks fans in Charlotte tonight, and to my bros at the goddamn Knicks chat, represent. LUC says, CP, put some respect on Obi's name. Come join the Hive. Get off Tibbs and Randall's bandwagon. That ain't going nowhere. Okay. Kenny Gale, $20 super chat. Kenny always supporting the show. Every show, Kenny Gales is donating, man. Definitely appreciate it, Kenny. He says, I can excuse this game for the tank. It was exciting. In the past 2 days, I've seen things I've never seen. A Robinson post move yesterday. A ball movement and pace I've never seen all season. 3 players with over 7 assists. And Obi. Is that a penguin emoji? Blood of the Panda. You know he was coming. Hashtag I told y'all, stick to the plan. Obi Avengers. Hashtag free Obi. And Jeremy Maynard says, that what we've been talking about. You do not know if the opportunity is never given. Obi needs minutes. Okay. Great show. Al, great show, my guy. We'll be back at it Friday, right? Who are we playing on Friday? The Miami Heat. Ooh. And I heard Udonis Haslem and Jimmy Butler caught some static. What was that about, man? Let's see what happened here, man. Let's investigate this. See what's going on. All right, let's see what happens here. Udonis Haslem. See, this is the role you give Taj Gibson. You know what I'm saying? This is the role you give Taj. You have him in the warm-ups. You have him out there coaching and leading and motivating. Oh, let's go. What's happening here? You know, what's happening here? Let's see. Hold on. Wow. It ain't a family show when Udonis Haslam. He was not playing. That boy is 305 certified. 305 certified, man. Shout out to Udonis Haslam. Now that is a captain. Golly.
You want Taj to be doing that? Is that what you want?
I mean, Taj is a Brooklyn boy. He's more, quieter and mild mannered. Leadership comes in different shapes and sizes. That's why and Spoelstra's probably looking at that like, excellent. That's why you keep Udonis Haslam around. Keep these guys on their toes. Hey, playoff time is coming, man. Don't get caught lacking out there. Out there.
Definitely fits the. Why am I blanking on his name right now? Terrible.
Who that?
What the name? Why can't I forget? Why am I blanking on his name? This is terrible. It was just. This is so bad. Who's in it? Oh, just give me a second.
Yeah. In the meantime, shout out Adrian Pagano. More super chats coming in. Says ride the youth wave and let it tsunami next year. Shout out Jimmy Fawson. Said CP, I have 3,000 in savings alone from Prizepicks. You are the king, man. I swear Prizepicks was the best thing you bring to us Knicks fans. Shout out to Jimmy, man. Jimmy on the cleanup, man. He says shout out to Prizepicks. David Claudio says
Pat Riley. That's the Pat Riley mentality.
Yeah. David Claudio, I don't see another super chat. Oh, I think you had sent one last night on the tray on the Hawks game. He says completely went away from Obi in the entire fourth and got RJ 2 possessions the last 6 minutes of the game. Tibbs got out coached every game. Tibbs violating Obi for Taj. That's a fair point. Absolute fair point, man. All right, gang. So we'll be back Friday night. Knicks versus Heat. Oh, man, they might take all that frustration out on the Knicks, man. Let's see what happens, Let's see what happens. I'll say this. This Heat defense ain't Charlotte. So let's see what happens. And how does RJ adjust? IQ, OB, see what happens.
That's the bigger question. We're going to be getting, let's say, Hawks roster. Are we getting the Hawks roster going against Miami? That'd be interesting. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
See RJ leading the way. I'd like to see how that plays out.
Right. It's Julius back. Oof. And if Julius is back, Julius doesn't play well against the Heat. Interesting game. Gonna be an interesting game. See you guys Friday, man. We out of here. Peace.